I would like to start with Amazon and then Apple, and then we'll look at the S&P 500. With Amazon here, this is 5,000 ticks, so this is the low. What we're looking at here is we're looking at a impulse wave to the upside here. So because we're getting an impulse wave in the opposite direction of this previous trend here, that means that after this impulse wave here, we're going to have a correction, and then we're going to have another 5 waves up. So that means that the NASDAQ is going to do much the same as well. Now the whole move up here that I've got here can be bearish and it can be bullish as well. We just need to go one step at a time. But the takeaway is that because we're getting 5 waves here, we'll have a correction and another 5. So that means that the NASDAQ and the S&P will go to the upside. So I've just had that as wave 1 to the upside. This is the bearish count to the upside where we get an ABC pattern to the upside here. But you can it's a pretty nice impulse wave of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. If I've made a mistake, then that wave 3 can go as the top here and we'll get an extra leg here and another little high here. That's why I've got that wave 3 here. But the point is that because we get 5 here, we're going to get a correction and another 5 up. So this is the same for Apple. This is the same for a lot of the stocks, really, and it is the stocks that dictate what happens to the indices. So with Apple here, this is just 100 ticks. When we looked at Amazon, that was 1,000 ticks. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, a little bit rough and ready in here, but we still need to push to the upside. I won't bore you to death with all of that. But there is 5 waves there, and once it's completed, we'll have an ABC pattern back again, and then we'll be looking for another with either wave 1 and 2 here, and then going up for wave 3. So this pullback over here, this is what's going to happen with the S&P 500 as well, the NASDAQ. So if we look at the S&P here, this is 1,000 ticks. Now, when these markets moved up here, this is Apple, it started to move up on the 4th of Jan, and I think I'll just check, and it was the 6th of January for Amazon. So they're all a little bit different, and with the S&P here, the 4th or 5th comes in here somewhere, so that's where they started to move up from. So this could certainly be the 5 wave structure here of 1 and 2 here, and 3, 4, 5 moving up here for those guys. In this case, we've got all this fluff here to be had. So as I mentioned right from the get-go, all of this here can be interpreted in different ways, and I don't think we should put too much weight on it. So when Elliott Wave is clear, then it makes life easier and you can use it. When it's not clear, it's useless. So in this case, a lot of this is not clear and it could be interpreted in different ways. So it is a problem, but based on what I can see from the majority, the consensus of the stock market, we are seeing 5 waves up. And if we are seeing 5 waves up, then we're going to have a correction and then we're going to move up further. So when we get to this top here, I was hoping that when this is all a little bit muddled here and doesn't make any sense, then it makes it muddled up here as well at the other end. So I was hoping for a nice clean classic trading levels pattern at the 4,000 across here. So we're at the arrival at the moment, the reaction, the first high above the level, the ABC pattern, and then we can start building in over here for this, and building a stronger case and looking for trade setups and averaging in and all sorts of things over at this side. But that's maybe not the case. It may not be nice and clean here. We might end up getting, because of these, we may end up getting more of this. So that means that I don't even have this completed here. So let me just 2, 3 complete this here, and wave 4 coming back into this space here. So you could see that it could get a bit jittery up here. I think the answer here is not to really I'm not going to concern myself with it too much. What I am going to be concerned with is looking at this drop when it comes in for Apple and Amazon and all the other stocks, this move here. And this is where we can start building, because I was hoping that we'd get a nice clean top here, but we may end up with 2 tops here. So there's a little bit of a little bit of a problem area here, and patience will be the solution at that point. But we don't have to like really we'll try to figure it out, you know, but at the end of the day we want this wave C of 2 here. That's the one that we want to start building in on over here. So yeah, in this particular case, I got this as the bearish count because I'm on 1,000 ticks. So it could be an A wave here, a B wave here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up there for a C wave of an X wave, and then we come down from that point. So the interesting thing here is that if I'm correct with this, then the bearish count and the bullish count for the short term of being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside will be the same. So that's kind of interesting. These little ones here, the only sort of takeaway I can get is that this top to this bottom here, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This move here coming down is 5 waves. This move here coming down is 5 waves. So we're getting 5 and 5 and 5 on these ones here. So the only thing I can do is put wave 1 here with an ABC here, wave 1 here with an ABC here, and 1 here with an ABC here. It's either that or we need to put this B wave all the way over to one of these lows over here. But the whole thing is a bit of a guessing game. So yeah, let's pull out of here and just go to the bigger picture now, the daily chart, and let's just have a look at the bigger picture on the bearish side and the bullish side. I meant to go to 1 day at that point. So this is just the daily chart here, and not sure why I've got 2 of those there, but so this will be the bullish count where I've got wave 4 here, and this is wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here. As I mentioned before, it's possible to have wave 1 sitting over here for this as well. There's a couple of different ways to look at that. It doesn't really matter at this point. What we're going to do, as I mentioned, is this wave 2 here, we're going to be looking for trade setups above this, around this level here. Now, it may not be easy. This wasn't easy here as well, but we were pretty patient and we did sort of our best with that, and I'll try to do my best over here with this as well, but this is what I'm focused on. That's the main takeaway here. Now we've got bearish counts and we've got bullish counts, so we can have a look at the bearish count first. So that's on 50k. Where are we here? 50k. So the bearish count really is much the same as the bullish count. We'll be looking at this as the A and the B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here for this. Because Amazon, don't forget, because this was the low for Amazon, right? That was the low. So going out into a 5 bigger pattern here, you know, this was the low for Amazon, and we're getting 5 waves up there. This is why I'm heading in that direction. That's my reasoning, okay? Getting those 5 waves off the low. So that was the low for Amazon. And Amazon's producing 5 waves here. So, yeah. Amazon can also be an ABC to the upside. So, yeah, that's... I won't go into all that at the moment. But, so... this is the bearish count, so it's the same as the bullish count. So when I go to the bullish count, which is on 20k, 10k, and 5k, so we'll just go to 20k and check. Oh, what do I've got that on the bearish count? I've got that all mixed up there. Not to worry, we won't use that one then. We'll just go straight to the, we'll go to the 10k because that's got 2 bullish counts on it with slightly different. So this has got wave 1 over here with an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave down to this point. Or we can look at this as 1 here and squeeze in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here, and then look at it across here. In this particular case, with the 10k, I always have the alternative counts on the 10k now. And in this case here, we've got to go wave 3, 4, and 5. So a bit more to finish off here. But it doesn't matter if I've got this wrong here, this top, because we'll still be waiting for wave 2 over here. And in the other charts, I've got this as orange wave 1 and wave 2 here. This is just where I keep something a little bit different going on here. I like to just have some options with things. So let's just go... well, yeah, so yeah, look, anyway, we're just basically want to find this top here. That's the end of it. So we're just going to be a little bit patient. It could be this could be the top, or we could have a top over here for this. So I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think I need to go into 100 ticks and all that. So I'll just leave all of that because I'll just bore you to death. And the NASDAQ is the same as well. We're on just 20k ticks here. So wave 1 here with an ABC here for wave 2. And then building up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here. Now that could be counted a little bit differently as well. I could look at this as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to here and 5 and then have another one and another one here. But it doesn't matter. We're just going to wait for the top and then we're just going to wait for the pullback here. Okay, so I won't go right into the intraday here for this either because it'll be the same situation. There's a couple of different ways to look at all of that. And it'll be the same for, well, the Russell here, you can see it's moved up quite a long way up here. So we can do the same with the Russell as the wave 1, A and a B and a C for wave 2 here. That works quite well. So this count up here is a little bit cleaner at the low here. So we can look at 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here in this particular instance. So we still need the top to develop here. So we'll see, you know, when they come back from holidays, they're normally all chirpy and all gung-ho and all that sort of stuff. So let's see them. They'll come in and everybody will pile in and then there won't be anybody else to come in and they'll all be looking at each other and the price will drop and then the value buyers will see that drop and then they'll come in and pick it up on wave 4 and push it up, and but once they're all in then they'll all be looking at each other and then there's no one else to get in, so then it'll roll over. We can see here that, you know, we don't have any really clean wave 4s here yet. Do you know what I mean? I can see that it's slowing down, but the problem was we had the long weekend holiday, so we can expect that creeping to come in. You know that you know professional traders aren't going to leave any money on the table over that period. You know, so yeah, let's just see. It's slowing down. The holidays here, we need to take that on board as well. What do we have in terms of thing? We've just got home sales. Oh, where are we today? Today is 16th, so it's Tuesday, isn't it? So we've got some PPI figures and retail figures coming out on Wednesday. What's the 18th? That's tomorrow. So today, nothing really here today. So yeah, that's that. I won't go into the intraday again as well. We need to see a drop, and we need to see a little bit more of a top come into play here, and we look for that pullback. So I won't go into the finer intraday moves at the moment. So this is the Dow Jones, and I just thought I'd chuck in the industrial sector here for a moment because this is a bit of a tell signal, this one, because let's just assume for a moment what we've been talking about with the market. So far, some of the markets haven't taken out the top here, but with the industrials here, if this top is taken out, let's just say in the next session we get a push to the top there and take that top out there, well then that kind of destroys any bearish move we've got at so far, you know. So the industrials really, along with the Dow Jones here, the Dow Jones hasn't taken the top out here just yet, but if the industrials take out this top here, then it's like that, you know, this one's just lagging a little bit. We've had this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for wave 2, and it probably, that may pan out like that, you know. But if this one takes up here, then this sector, this ETF XLI here, then that's going to put a real spanner in the works. That's going to create that wave 1 up here for the next leg, you know. The only other mistake I could see here that I could make is I would have to put wave 4 here for this, which is probably not such a bad bet really, and put wave 5 here, and then wave 1 here would come over to here. Then this starts to look a little bit like the resources at this point, but won't go there. So, but anyway, we'll see how that plays out. I just thought that was sort of interesting at that point because it's moving a little bit quicker than these. So we could look at the Dow Jones here in terms of, oh, I've also got wave 4 here as well if it took out a top here. Because the wave 5's a little bit, but the wave 5's been a bit iffy on all of them, hasn't it, you know. So we can have an A and a B and a C here for wave 2. We can also bring wave 2 over to here and have it as the other markets as well here, in terms of we'll change this around to an A and a B and a C wave here for that in that case. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm just going to go to just see what I've updated here. Have a look at the bullish on the 5K here, and then we'll have a look at the 1K. So 5K here. So this is the 5K here. This is, I know I can swing it around this way too, so I can have the A, the B, and the C here, because on the, this is the cash and the futures as the CFD. So on the cash market, this is taken out the low here on this. I'm thinking that was the case. I'll just better double check that. Double check. Yes, that appears to be the case. So, yeah, look, I don't really know the best way to handle this situation, but we've got 5 waves in this move here. So we can look at this as 1 and 2 over to here. That would make the most sort of sense at this point. Now this one here doesn't count very nicely up as wave 1, but on the actual index it's a better picture for counting up as wave 1, so perhaps check that. So in a nutshell, I'm just waiting for a top to come into play here, and we'll still look at this as an impulse wave to the upside. It doesn't need to take out the top at this particular stage. I mean, of course, it does make a nice sort of A, B, and C wave over here, so we'll be mindful of that. But I'm more interested in looking for the setup here, but I won't, as wave 2, but I won't stick my head in the sand and ignore any possible short trades that can come into play for all of this as well. But that's sort of where we are for this. I'll just check on the 1000 ticks. See what I've done here for this. Which way I've looked at it. Okay, so this on the 1000 is the bearish count here. So in this case, it would be the A wave here, the B wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 up here. But it'll be interesting to see. It's still got higher to go up here, but it's a little bit iffy on the count here, because this does appear to be 1, 2, 3. This appears to be 5 waves here. Yeah, so it's a little bit weird looking at this. I mean, maybe I could go 1 and 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, and fifth. I could have a top in here. If this top gets taken out, then we've got further to go up at that point. This is looking as an impulse wave. That's looking. I could get an impulse wave out of that too, but so that's not very helpful. I mean, I've seen this pattern before, so most of the markets around, well, I'm seeing this in the FX market more so here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, but possibly I'd have to squeeze a 1 and 2 in here, then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the third, fourth, and fifth here. So I'll just see how that goes. If that's breached here, then we need to look at this as wave 1 here and 2 here, and then 1 and 2, and then keep building to the upside. So if this gets taken out, there's definitely more to the upside at that point. Alrighty, I'll leave it all at that. So just to recap a little bit here, just to take all of that in here, all we're going to do at this point is that what the stock market, not so much the indices have been sort of scrunched up and pulled out and chewed up and spat out in terms of their patterns at the bottom here, so that's making it very difficult. So I'm just going to look for a classic trading levels pattern at the top here. And the stock market, the Amazons and the Nvidias and the Googles and all of those, they're telling me that we're getting 5 waves up here. So I have to respect that from the stocks, because it is the stocks that create the indices. So because of those 5 waves up that are quite clear on stocks, it will be the stocks that tell me when I've got the top in, and that's what we'll be looking at tomorrow and the next day and the next day. And then we're going to be looking for the ABC correction over here, and then we'll look for the the long trade setups. It will be a situation where there's nothing to trade and suddenly everything is tradable. That's basically what's going to be happening at this point here. So work out what you're going to trade. The stocks that have moved the highest, or even the indices that have moved the highest here, they're the ones that are going to move the highest in the next run as well. So because the leaders tend to range more than the followers. So that's what we'll be chatting about as well. Okay, so that's it. Let's just allow this top to play out. It could be a little bit messy for the indices playing out here, but we'll certainly know when it pulls back into this space here, and this is going to be our golden goose that lays the golden egg for this third wave here. And there'll be plenty of time. Don't feel like you're missing anything, because you know when this starts to build over on this side over here, we're going to see and get a series of waves 1s and 2s in here. There's going to be a whole series of them, just like there is here, but hopefully we'll end up sort of moving a little bit more to the upside. So these are where we're going to be sort of building into the trades here. So we'll build in with small amounts of money. So I like to look at these levels here, like 4,000, and think to myself, okay, so we've got this ABC down. It could be bearish and it could come down further, so I need to be careful. So I will wait. This first leg here in 5 waves will be in 5 waves here. I'll wait for the first 5 waves up, and then the pullback here, and then I'll go long on the B wave, and I'll try to get 1 or 2 positions in here. And then I'll just wait patiently for wave 1 to complete, and then wave 2's got to pull back, and that can pull back, you know, 60-80% quite deeply. And then what I need to do is start to build in here with another 2 or 1 position in here, and then build in on this one. And once we're on the level here, then we're going to build in on 10, 20 and 30 here, and then 50 and then 100 here. So we've got a lot of building to do over here in small positions that we can manage the risk on by leaving the stops under the wave 2s as we build to the upside. Alrighty, I'll leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.